I have a lot of things that needs to come off my chest because I am sick and tired of this. This is just, people are just taking advantage of people.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I was one of those people that be falling to a lot of fad diets, just a lot of detox teas, you know what I'm saying? I used to believe that. And I really want to talk about this because first you had a client that has a dietitian, and then we've been getting into a lot of calls with a lot of women that has hired dietitians, and they just give them some BS.
So first thing first, I want to say there probably is some good dietitians out there, right?
Yes.
There's got to be good
Yes.
just like there's good trainers, there's good coaches. But on the same token, like, I think people need to realize just because someone has that label as a dietitian or a nutritionist, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're good at what they're doing. There's a lot of people that are still taking advantage with that position. But people that are desperate or people that have been trying to do this for years, if they see somebody with, you know, the dietitian label or the nutritionist label, instantly it's like, oh, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about, I'm in.
Listen, before
for it.
we continue, I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm not a dietitian, but your girl knows some stuff, okay? I do my research.
But I mean, so in the particular scenario that she's talking about, the reason why I pissed her off is because this particular dietitian was clearly taking advantage of this woman, and is very, very unfortunate because this woman came to this guy after, you know, she was trying to do this for years. She said she was trying to do this. I think her son was 9 years old at this point. She's been trying to lose this weight for 8 years. So she went to this dietitian. First of all, dietitian gave her no dietary advice, period. So I was asking her, like, you know, what are you eating on a daily basis? Or what advice? You know, I was like, oh, okay, you hired a dietitian. What advice did he give you? And she basically said, what he told me was to just increase my cardio and I'll be able to lose the weight. And I was like, wait a minute. You did say this is a dietitian, right? Like, why is he giving you workout advice? Like, dietitians are supposed to be handling your diet, not giving you workout advice. But I brushed it off and I was like, okay. So, but what nutritional information did he give you? And she said, nothing. He didn't change anything about my diet. He told me to keep eating the way I've been eating, just add cardio. So I was just like, huh. So then I was like, okay, well, walk me through the cardio regimen that he gave you. And she starts telling me what he had her do for cardio. And this guy had her doing cardio for 1 hour, 6 days a week. For someone in her position, this is terrible advice to try and give. First of all, she was under eating, and she had like a starve and binge type of mentality where she wouldn't eat breakfast. You know, she would skip lunch very often, and then at night she would have this huge meal, and then she would snack throughout the rest of the night. She was eating seeds, she was eating cakes, cookies. And I was like, as a dietitian, why would you tell her to keep eating these type of things and not give her the appropriate information on how she should be eating more healthy or anything like that, or anything about calories or anything about macros or metabolism, anything. He just told her to do more cardio. And it's like, that is not the answer in this situation. She was with him since November, and she's seen no weight loss. She's seen no progress. She's super frustrated. She thinks it's her and that she's the reason why she's not getting results. But it's like, no, you're getting bad advice. So then I just flat out asked her, I was like, you know what, like, how much are you paying this guy? And she was like, oh, I don't pay anything out of pocket. My insurance pays for it. And I was like, okay, so that's what's going on here. This guy is just collecting a check because he can overcharge her insurance. It's nothing out of pocket for her. And then he knows in his head, you know, if she's just doing cardio, she's going to see a couple pounds weight loss. I've done my job, and I'm just going to continue collecting this check. So, I mean, that is very, very frustrating to hear as a coach who's trying to actually get, you know, the results that we look to get. And, you know, for her, the first thing is her metabolism is shot. It's slow. she's not hungry at times. She doesn't have an appetite a lot of times. So, I mean, why not have her focus on eating more protein? She told me she told me what she eats on a daily basis. She's very, very low protein. He told her not to do any strength training, which is just blows my mind that he would tell her that. And, she's looking to lose like 40 pounds. So it's like, why would you tell her to not do any strength training when the studies show, over time, resistance training leads to the most fat loss long term, especially with someone that has a slowed down metabolism, that has a low BMR. That should be the advice that should have been given, but this guy was just clearly taking advantage.
Yeah, that's really, really sad, because that's not the first story that we've ever heard that was like that. There's so many. Mm-hmm. There's so many.
I mean, I've had a client too who, was working with me, and she's working with me for years, and, we were getting great results, but, she got swayed by someone who was a nutritionist, and she started going in this other direction. So all of a sudden I'm noticing like her lifts are getting weaker. She's starting to lose muscle. But, for her, she saw a couple pounds go down on the scale, and in her mind, she's like, oh, okay, this is working. This is the change I needed. But it's like, well, we're paring down muscle now. Like, we're losing muscle. And now, I ask her what she's eating. She's like, well, in the morning, I'm fasting, and then I'm breaking my fast with a smoothie. So then one day we sat down, we added up all the calories she's having, and it's like, yo, you're eating under 2,000 calories. And this is a client that was, squatting well over 200 pounds. She's super strong. But I mean, it's like, why, like, everybody wants the shortcut to the fat loss. They don't want to do it the way that's going to be, sustainable.
There's no magic pill.
Right.
There's no fad diets that's going to give you that long-term results that you're looking for. Listen, I have fallen to those detox teas and fad diets, and yes, I lost the weight at first. And
they all work in the beginning.
Yeah, and then you gain it all back.
Right. And
it's more than what you've lost.
The unfortunate piece is like women that are in that position, people that are in that position, because men do the same thing. They lose the weight with whatever the fad diet is. They lose however many pounds, and then the weight comes back. And instead of looking at the diet and the habits that were being instilled from that diet, they look inwards and feel like they're the failure. And it's like, no, you didn't fail. You did what the diet told you to do. And then they're like, you have this mentality. It's like, well, if I would have just stuck to the diet, or if I would have just ate less, then maybe my results would have stuck around. And it's like, that's not how this goes. Like, you shouldn't have to eat like that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. I was miserable.
Right.
I was like, when I was on that detox, mind you, I was younger too. I fell for everything.
But then how many times did you go back and you're like, oh, okay, I lost the weight and then gained some back. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll just do that again, and then I'll lose another, 10 pounds. I'll be right back. And then it's this constant cycle, and that's the yo-yo dieting cycle.
I was just pooping my life away. And then I would be waking up in the morning, oh my God, I have flat stomach. And then would just gain it all back right after I eat. And then I would take the detox tea again, and then it's just a vicious cycle.
Right. I mean, I didn't fall into any fad diets, but I definitely, back when I was playing ball, I had already gotten a significant transformation. I think it was back in
when you had abs?
It was my first time getting abs. It was back in 2014 maybe. I had this huge transformation that I made doing my own research. I did my own training. I did my own nutrition. So I got this big transformation, and then, years later, the whole reason I got the transformation was so that I can perform better in my tryouts that I was doing at the time to play ball up in Canada in the CFL. And then I ended up getting signed, and now I'm playing ball. I'm a couple years in, and I had a couple great seasons. So then it was like, okay, now's my shot to go to the NFL, right? So now, I'm going to have scouts looking at me. I know they're going to want me to gain some weight. I was 220 pounds at the time. I wanted to be about 235. So instead of using my own instincts and everything that I've learned up to this point, I was like, well, I got money now. I'm a professional football player.
Got money.
I'm seeing other guys in the facility using nutritionists. And so I start being like, okay, well, maybe it's time. Like, I got money now. I don't need to be thinking about this myself. Let me hire a nutritionist. So.
Y'all, you guys have to see this. You have to see this. It's so ridiculous because, listen, this man paid $800
$800
for this meal plan.
I was sold though. I was like, yo,
he was sold. He was
cool.
Following this to a T. Okay, we're gonna show you this meal plan.
Yeah, we'll put it in this video. But I was 220. At this point I was training. I think I was lifting like 4 times a week, and I was running like maybe 3 to 4 times a week. So I should have been high calorie, for sure. That's a fact. But what he had me on, first of all, the macros were just like unreal. So first of all, he had me at, we're gonna show this here, but he had me at, I think it was like 4,600 calories, which, for what I was trying to do, the amount of calories I was burning, I get that. But he had me at 675 carbs and 200 grams of protein, which in my position, knowing what I know now, I would have went way higher on the protein and much less on the carbs. I mean, to get to 675 grams of carbs, I was eating.
Yo, we were.
He had me eating a full loaf of bread every day. Like
it's
literally,
12,
I will show you.
Is it 12 slices?
12 slices
of bread every day. Can you imagine our grocery bill?
I was showing up to the facility. Okay, first of all, I was having.
It was egg sandwiches. I was making them. Okay, I was meal prepping this man's food.
It was 3. Okay. It was 3 sandwiches. Okay, I would split it into 2. So I had 3 sandwiches. Each of them was 2 slices of bread, 1 egg in each one. And then after the workout, I would have another 3 sandwiches and 3 eggs. So that gave me my 12 slices of bread with 3 eggs. And then what was it? Dinner was something crazy too, wasn't it? Like
it was pasta.
Big bowl of, it was like a huge bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah, it was a big bowl of spaghetti. I think it was turkey.
There was nothing creative or proprietary about this meal plan.
No, we was on it though. I followed that to a T, baby.
He gave me this recipe for pancakes that made me like.
Yo, it was not good.
It was, first of all, they were disgusting. Second of all, the pancakes were like this big,
so big,
and they were like this thick. Like I was literally like eating it. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, and you got pudgy.
Yeah, I definitely gained weight.
And you was not fast.
It was not good weight, and it definitely slowed me down a lot. Like I did not put on any muscle. I mean, maybe he misheard what I wanted. He was just like, this is how I'm gonna gain I didn't gain any muscle because we were testing body fat on a bi-weekly basis.
Yeah.
And my body fat like went through the roof. Muscle did not go up, skeletal muscle did not go up at all. So I was just like damn, like I really just blew $800 on something I easily could have done myself.
$800.
I had the knowledge to do it, but I trusted.
After seeing the meal plan that we just showed y'all, $800, baby.
I was scrolling through it like, there's gotta be more here. Cause there was some blank pages at the end, and it was like literally like this little blurb. There was no type of like.
You're making bank, that guy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm gonna have to blur that out. But yeah, that was my one and only experience with having a nutritionist. Like he had all the certifications, he had everything. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, this is the guy.
This guy's gonna get me there. But nah, no way. I couldn't believe, like looking back at it now, it blows my mind that I was dedicated to that for months.
You were. Listen, we was in the grocery store buying 3 loaves of bread.
Yeah, Whole Foods, I cleared them out multiple times with just It was a specific type of...
Yeah, it was this sourdough
It was
bread.
Rocky Mountain...
sourdough bread.
Yeah, it was good bread. I'll give them that.
Listen, 6 sandwiches a day.
But 6 sandwiches a day.
We was killing 6 eggs just for him. Listen, this is not even my meal plan. Like, alone
Dudes
his
at
meal.
the facility was like, yo, like, egg sandwiches again? Like, what are you going through something? I had my egg sandwiches with Tapatio, like, this is what I'm supposed to be.
Yo, I'm a ride or die. I was making all his meals.
Okay, first of all, egg sandwiches are not hard to make. You just
Hey, I was making his pasta.
scrambled 3 eggs and toasted bread.
His big bowls of pasta.
Yeah, the pasta was, that was thick.
It was a big bowl of pasta.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my first experience with that, for sure. But there was the other, the trend on TikTok.
Oh my God, so there's this TikTok trend that I have been seeing recently, and it's...
Ozempic?
Yeah, it's like insulin shots,
No.
but after doing a deep dive on it, it's not...
It's Ozempic and Mounjaro, so they're peptides. Initially, she thought they were insulin shots.
My first impression about this when I first saw it, I'm like, oh my God, like people actually would rather just take the easy way out. Mm-hmm. You know, that magic pill instead of...
It's a magic shot, yeah.
Instead of actually working on their nutrition and working out, like they would rather just take a pill that would, like a shot, that costs so much money than actually putting in the work.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, after she brought it to my attention, we saw a documentary about it on Hulu. We'll make sure we put that in here too. But after doing more research on it, it's not an insulin shot. What it is a peptide. That so what a peptide is how you're, and I'm no expert at this, so don't quote me on this. Do your own research, of course. I'm not a doctor. But what a peptide is how your cells communicate with each other. So it's technically not considered a drug. What it is, though, is your body recognizes it as its natural communication, and it helps your body oxidize fat, and it also helps with insulin sensitivity. So what they use it for, what it's supposed to be used for...
It's for people that has diabetes.
It's for people that has diabetes, but the side effect is that they lose weight because it's a appetite suppressant.
Yeah.
Right? But it does this, and it's muscle sparing. So it allows you to decrease your weight, decrease your fat, but it also allows you to keep some muscle. But this is the part where most people are mistaking this. They think they just take it, they can keep eating the same way, and they're just going to lose the fat. But you still have to focus on having the right amount of protein.
And working out, resistance training.
So that you can keep as much muscle as possible so that, again, so you don't slow down your metabolism. So what a lot of people are doing now that it's so popular...
It's been selling out like hotcakes.
People that actually need it for diabetes aren't getting it because celebrities and a bunch of other people are buying it now and buying it up. So now the people that actually need it aren't getting it.
How much does this cost? Like,
I think it's like $800 or something crazy. So yeah, it's about $800, but...
Insurance covers it.
Insurance will cover it if you have it for diabetes. But here's another issue that a lot of people are having. I saw this on a podcast that we watch, the Mind Pump podcast, great podcast. Go check it out.
Yeah, they're great.
But they brought on this doctor who, you know, specializes in this stuff. And he was saying, you know, a lot of people are getting it on websites and not going through a doctor to get it. So he actually tested, like he bought it from a bunch of different places. He actually tested it. And what he was finding was it's only about 65% of the actual peptide that they're supposed to be getting. But he was saying with the other, you know, what is it? The other 35% is filled with other peptides that aren't actually beneficial. So what you can be doing is altering your DNA. You can be sending your body a lot of the wrong signals if you're not doing this appropriately and going through the right sources, going through a doctor to get this done. If you're somebody who's pre-diabetic, diabetic, by all means, go for it. I mean, again, I'm not a doctor, but I would highly recommend in doing so, you still have to focus on getting the right amount of protein in and resistance training. You still got to do some work. It's not just, you take this shot and you're eating ice creams and cakes all day. You still got to make sure that you're focusing on it so that you can get the results, and not only get the results, but keep the results permanently. You don't want to be in a situation where you're just taking this, which is what a lot of people is doing, and then
they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna make me lose weight. This is gonna make me lose fat."
Yeah.
And they just take the shot and expect it to just work.
Well, some people are losing 50 to 60 pounds by just taking the shot. But if you're not changing anything else, you're not changing the habits, you're not changing how you eat. If you're not doing resistance training, you have to keep taking that shot, which means you have to keep paying for that on a monthly basis. Which also means when you lose the weight, it's not going to give you that toned look you're looking for. You're not going to be able to keep the muscle or build any additional muscle so that you can look how you want to look. Yes, you'll be lighter on the scale, which if that's your goal at the end of the day, then fine. But you got to know if you lose that 50 to 60 pounds, you now have to stay on this Ozempic, Mounjaro, whatever, the peptide is that you're on. And think about this. We just told you that it's selling out in most places, right? So there was one lady that was on the Hulu documentary who was on, I think she lost like 70 pounds or something crazy like that.
She can't get it anymore.
All of a sudden she went back to her doctor, they don't have it anymore. So now what? You didn't set yourself up by eating the right amount of protein, you didn't build any muscle. So now, naturally, you're going to go right back up and more.
If you're someone that's already starving yourself to get the results, and then you're going to take this shot to suppress your appetite even more, what are you really doing?
That's another issue too that the doctor brought up when I was doing my own research. He was saying that a lot of the issues that they run into is if someone is under-eating and mostly under-eating protein, and you take something like this, Ozempic, Mounjaro, any of these other ones, and it's an appetite suppressant, now you're telling your body, or you're not going to feel like eating a lot. So naturally, you're still going to be under eating protein, and now you're still caught in this vicious cycle. So you're
starving yourself.
That's the give and take
to get the results that you want, and you're basically killing yourself doing that.
So I mean, there's really a couple different types of people that are out there. There's some people that undereat and their metabolism is shot, and they have this like starve mentality, and they hit a plateau and they're like, I just can't lose any more weight. But then there's other people, and these are usually the pre-diabetics and the ones with type 2 diabetes, that constantly overeat and binge eat. This would be helpful for someone in that category than someone who's already undereating, they're undereating protein, and now you go take something that's going to tell you to eat less, when instead you could have focused on what the real issue is that you have a slowed down metabolism and you need to address that. And a lot of times when it comes to this kind of journey, it's the habits that need to be focused on rather than the magic pill or magic shot that I want to take. You got to focus on the habits if you want to be able to do this long term.
It's because it's so tempting. Like it was definitely tempting for me back then when I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You would see ads like lose weight in 7 days, get a flat stomach in 7 days, but just by taking this. Obviously, that's your attention. My attention is caught by that.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it's a big, shiny object.
Everybody wants it like, I want the results I want now. But also there's things like, if I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks and you see something that says you can get it in 7 days. It's like, oh, okay, I got a vacation. It's perfect. Take my money. But they don't think about what happens after that. And the same thing goes for these shots. If you got, say you got a wedding coming up or whatever, a lot of celebrities are using it just to stay skinny because they can afford to continue to pay and foot this bill. So, we just wanted to...
Yeah, we just wanted to talk about that. I feel like I needed to share this.
Yeah. Most of the women that come to us aren't in the overeating category. Most of the women that we talk to are
starving themselves.
Category, because that was the fad before, and this is the new thing that's coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But it's just good to know and educate yourself when it comes to stuff like this, because it could be very, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're buying it from any of these, sites out there that are using it as, testing or whatever. Like if you're not going through a doctor,
Yeah, always
you're
always
gambling.
do your research. Always do your research.
Right.
And be careful out there. Like, my mission for our women is to never, ever fall for any fad diets, fad supplements. We want them to be doing this the right way without having to do all of that stuff.
Yeah, there's multiple different. I think there's a lot more than Ozempic and Mounjaro out there.
Oh yeah.
But-
What when I was in the beginning of my journey, before I met you, there's like these flat tummy tea these lollipops that the Kardashians.
I never saw that
Yeah, it's like, and I think it's an appetite suppressor, but it was these lollipops. I'm gonna try and find that, but the Kardashians were promoting it.
Yeah. But that's the crazy thing though, right? It's like an appetite suppressant. I mean, I guess for the average person, that would be like, okay, I eat less, I lose weight. Easy.
I used to believe that. Eat
But-
less, lose weight.
If the only people that should be using something that's an appetite suppressant is someone who consistently is overeating and overeating by a lot. Someone who is undereating should never be taking an appetite suppressant.
Right. See, that's what I used to believe. Like, listen, I was probably undereating and I was still doing those detox teas or fat burners.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people, there's just a lot of misinformation out there. But I will say there's a lot of really good peptides out there. CJC is a good one. They have some that are that will help you release more growth hormone. There's thousands of different peptides at this point, but always do your own research.
Okay?
And talk to a doctor before doing any of this stuff, because you don't know what the outcome is, how your body's going to react to it. So just make sure you're doing your proper research.
Yes.
Yep. You ready to eat?
Yeah, I'm starving. I don't know if the mic is recording, but my stomach is like it's so loud. I'm just like over here. It's like my stomach is just vibrating. I'm so hungry. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this episode of our fake podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, baby.
If this stuff is valuable to you guys, subscribe. Subscribe and share it to other people who might have been thinking about doing anything like this, or who maybe fell for anything like this. Let us know in the comments. Share it to them.
I wish I would have had videos like this that I can watch to help my younger self back then.
For sure. So until next time, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
So this round, take the magic pill, take the magic
I
smoothie,
wanted the easy
detox tea.
Yeah, I wanted it the fast, easy way, the fastest way to be skinny in literally just a week or a couple of days. I was literally drinking that tea every day and it would make my stomach hurt so bad. I'd be in the toilet like this and